Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am on the CAM homepage. So this is our home website page. This is where you're going to go to log into your CAM Planroom account. So you'll begin that process by clicking here on Planroom Login. And that'll take you to the login page where you're going to put in your login and your password. So come down here to do that. If you've never logged in or you don't know what your login and your password is, you can put your username in and forgot password, or you can do register now if you have never gone through the login process. Now, if this is the first time that you are accessing your account, it's going to ask you to answer a series of security questions to make sure that in the event you forget your password, when you need to do a reset password later, you'll have to remember those answers to your security questions. If for whatever reason you can't remember or you don't know what they are, you can always email us directly and we can reset your password or let you know what your answers are or walk you through the process of updating that information so that you can get access to your account. So what we see here, we call this the desk pad. This is the main home central of the CAM virtual plan room. And before I jump into looking at projects, I want to first cover how you can manage your own account within the CAM plan room. So if you log in and you go to My Account up here in the upper right corner, you will be able to access your company's information. If you are an administrator on the account, and I'll show you what that looks like. If you're an administrator and you have a yes next to your name, that means you can add and delete users. You can force a password reset if somebody on your team has forgotten their password, and you can assign seat licenses. So down here, if you push this green plus symbol here, this will give you a detailed record on the people on your team. They have to have a seat license to access projects. So you can assign a seat license here. Every subscription comes with 5 seat licenses. If you need more than 5, you can contact us and we can give you pricing for adding additional seats to your account. So it's important that you have an admin set up on your account to be looking at this. If you have somebody who leaves your company, you'll want to jump in here and delete their access so they can't continue to log in from wherever. So this is where you edit your people. Your company profile is here under step 1. This is where you can edit your company address. You can put in a description about your company, and you can put in your company history. This is useful as a marketing tool. So if somebody comes into our system and they're looking for a company like yours, they can access your company record and get this information about your company. Come down here to step 3, which is company type. It is important that you have a company type assigned to your company. And you'll see why when I show you guys how to search directory. Searching the directory is going to rely upon, most cases, company type. And if you don't have a type assigned, then you're not going to show up in the directory results. So for those of you who are CAM members and you're in our construction buyer's guide, this is a completely separate directory from the construction buyer's guide. So just because you've paid for classified listings in the buyer's guide, it does not mean that that information has been translated into this directory in the Planroom software. So you can add classifications. You'd click here to expand your company choices. You can change your classifications, add or delete them, however they show up on your account. We have certifications and we have licenses, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time going into those. If you need assistance on putting those in, or maybe there's one that you want that's not an option on the list, just contact us and we will get something set up for you. One more thing I want to point out is that logins are unique to individual users. So each user will have their own login and their own password, and they'll be allowed to create as many filter searches as they want, but that login and password will be the only one that can see those filter results. So there is not a way to share creative filters between your team. So just your filter results are your filter results, and they're tied to your unique login and password. All right, let's go back to the desk pad here. And I'm going to go over the 4 main ways to search for a project. So the first way to search is this search new projects here. And I hold down Control when I click on anything to open it in a new tab so that I can always go back to that other tab without having to hit the back button. So I clicked on Search New Projects here, and this opens up a window for me that shows me all of the projects entered since a specific date in the system. So I can, if I don't look at this for a few days, or maybe I haven't had a chance to log in a week, I can back up that search to show me everything that was entered in the last week. So I'm going to back this up to last Friday and click Submit. And the system shows me that there've been 105 projects entered since the last time I checked a week ago. I want to point out to you guys that obviously we are in the craziest of times, and the CAM Planroom project count has been significantly impacted by all the closures across our state. So normally we would anticipate about between 800 and 900 active projects in our Planroom right now, and we're hovering around the 350 to 400 project mark. So just keep that in mind as you're searching. In any of our screens, you can sort by the column headers. So if you're looking for something by bid date, you can sort by the bid date, by a particular city, or by a project name. If you want to narrow these results to see something super specific, let's say I only want to know what's in Toledo, I can start typing Toledo and it'll shrink my results down just to show me the ones that match that search criteria. So that is the Search New Project option here. Project Quick Search, which is right next to it, is going to pop up what we call a shadow box, and it's going to give me a few choices. I can choose projects that are actively bidding, projects that are in the post-bid phase. If you are a subscriber to our pre-bid product, you will also see pre-bid. If you're not a subscriber to the pre-bid projects, then this will be grayed out and you won't be allowed to select it. If you know our project number, you can put that in. If you know the bid date, if you know the name. So this is really, if you're looking for a specific project, you can use this Project Quick Search to find it. Blue Notes, I'm going to go over in just a moment. So I'll show you how to use Blue Notes. But let's say I'm looking for a school project. I know how to spell school. And I want to know actively bidding school. I click Submit. And it's going to show me all the projects that have the word school in that project title. Okay, so that is Project Quick Search. That is for finding specific projects. Over here, we have our bid calendar. If you're looking for a project based on a specific bid due date or a pre-bid walkthrough date, you can click on the calendar and it'll show you next week, for example, on Monday, we have 11 projects that are bidding and we have 5 pre-bid meetings scheduled. If you click on that link, it'll show you exactly what those projects are. Here are the projects with bids due on Monday, and then here are the projects with pre-bid meetings on Monday. So that is the information from the bid calendar here on the right. I'll show you how to track projects. When you have tracked a project, you'll see on your little calendar, it'll show up, there'll be a green dash or a yellow dash on your calendar indicating that one of your tracked projects has a bid due date or a pre-bid meeting coming up soon. So again, that's the bid calendar. Most people use either the complete list or the filters to search for projects. So let's talk about the complete list first. Complete list means you're going to see all of the projects that we are currently reporting on that are actively bidding. You can see we're on actively bidding. Currently, we have 363 projects. You can see them all by clicking Complete List, and it'll give you all 663 projects. If you are a statewide subscriber, you can click on any of these project titles and you'll be able to access all of the information that we have. If you only subscribe to the Greater Detroit region, but you're very interested in this Sault Ste. Marie project, when you open it, you're going to get limited information on the project, and you can purchase full access to the project for a pay-per-view fee. It ranges anywhere from about $40 to $50 per project. So up here at the top, we have the key that shows you the availability of the documents on the project. If there is a green symbol here in the column, it means we have the documents and they are available for viewing. If it's yellow, it means we have the documents and we are working on getting them posted to the site. On order means that we've requested the documents from the project team and we're waiting for a response. And not available means there are either no documents available for the project or the project team is unwilling to allow a Planroom to post them publicly. They have to be requested directly through the project team. So those are the key here. You can sort by that column. If you only want to look at projects that we have documents for, you can sort that way. Again, you can sort by bid date. As you see, we have a lot of TBD projects. Normally you would never see TBD in an actively bidding project, but because we had so many put on hold at the start of the coronavirus COVID-19 epidemic, we're still tracking them and working on getting updates, but we don't yet have a specific bid date on the calendar just yet. I want to call your attention to a few options up here. So again, we're on the complete list of projects. This is showing all of the projects. You can narrow them down by region of the state. So if you only care about what's happening in the 9 counties that we call Greater Detroit, you can click on that tab and it'll refresh your results and take you from the 350 or so to 123. Sort by city, sort by project name, or any of the other pieces. We do report, we call outstate adjacent. This is Indiana and Ohio. Occasionally, if there's a huge project in Illinois or in southern Ohio or southern Indiana, we'll include it on here. But for the most part, these are the northern counties of Indiana and Ohio. So this is actively bidding. Post-bid is a really useful tool that I don't think enough of our subscribers take advantage of. So post-bid shows you, you can refine your search by awaiting apparent low. Apparent lows have been reported, awaiting awards, or awards have been reported. And then you can further filter your search results between bid dates. So I'll just show you how that works. If we look at projects that we've gotten awarded results on that bid between February 1st and today, it shows me 15 projects that we have an award reported. You see award reported, all the yeses in this column. This means that we had the low bidder information and we got the award reported information. And if you're interested in knowing who those bidders are, you can click on this green plus symbol here. And it's going to show you, we had 2 low bidders on the project, and the company that was awarded the contract here was Tri-County Roofing. If you want to see the actual bid tab that the project team sent to us, you can access that through that document link. So again, that is awards reported. We're in post-bid projects. If you're interested in apparent lows reported, same thing, we can hit the green plus symbol and see these are our 3 low bidders, and we haven't yet obtained information about which of those 3 have been awarded the project. But these are apparent lows. Once we have the information, it would move into this awards reported category. Now let's say this roof replacement project, you know that these are the 3 low bidders, but you really want to know when we report on who was awarded the project. You can click on the project title and look at the detail page, and up here for tracking, you click track with email, and then when my team updates it and changes this phase from apparent lows to award reported, you'll get an email notifying you that we've made a change to the project. So you'll know immediately when we've changed the phase on that project. So again, that's post-bid, apparent lows, and awards reported are the 2 most useful tools in this window. Okay, so that was new project, project quick search, the bid calendar, and then all of these are linked. These regions, this map is linked. You can click on any of the regions, click on any of the titles, or just complete list, and then you'll get to that page like this one where you can filter it by the different areas of the state. I'm going to go over here a few of the quick link things here. So if you are tracking a project, you can click on My Tracked Project. and it's going to show you all your tracked projects. Again, if you subscribe to pre-bid, you'll have pre-bid projects in here, bidding projects, and post-bid. If you've tracked it in post-bid, again, you can access the low reported and the award reported information on those projects. These are my tracked projects. You can also get to your hidden projects. So if you've decided that there was a project that showed up in your filter results that you don't ever want to see again, you can hide it. But occasionally, people have hidden things by mistake, and they need to get back to that hidden project to unhide it. So you can go here and then select it and unhide it. So that's your tracked projects and your hidden projects. If you're looking for contact information on a specific company, you can click here for Find a Company and put in the company name. Click Submit. And it's going to show you all of the companies that we have in our system. And we have about 18,000 companies in our system that match this Acme company name. If you want to narrow those search results further, you can start typing in the name of a city or whatever you have, and that will shrink those search results. You can click on the name of the company, and it will give you all the information that we have at our fingertips. So here's the company name, address, contact phone numbers. If you click on company profile, it'll show you who the contact people are that we have in our system. If they have appeared on a bidders list, you'll be able to see that they've been on one bidders list in the last 24 months. If you click on that, you can see what project it was that they were intending to bid on. So this is a great example of why it's important to put your company on bidders list, so that if somebody is looking for a company like yours and they see that you've appeared on 100 bidders lists in the last 6 months, they can access that information and then get a sense of what you do, what kind of projects you typically bid on, and how best to reach out to your company in the event that they need you guys to bid on something. So again, that was the Find Company. That's going to give you a very specific list of fields that you can put in to find a particular company. Now, if you want to expand that search and dig a little more deeply, you're going to use Search Directory. The Search Directory option gives you a lot more choices. You can do Search Company, and it gives you the same boxes that we just had. You can look for a company based on a region. What's interesting about our virtual plan room is that we share the software with Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, Virginia, and Wisconsin. So we have a lot of contractors in our system from those states because those state subscribers are accessing projects in here as well. You can narrow your search results down by individual counties. Let's say you're looking for companies that are just within that tri-county region of Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb. You can save selections. And maybe I only want general contractors. And maybe I only want general contractors that do commercial work. Gives me 340 general contractors. From here, you can export to Excel. You can print the results. You can sort by the number of projects. So this will be projects that they've been on the project team for, or projects that they've appeared on a bidders list. If they have a CAM icon here in this column, it means they subscribe to our virtual plan room system. So they have people that are in the system. If you want to know what kind of work they do, you click on H for history. And again, it's going to give you all of their company contact information, projects currently out for bid. So Barton Mallow is listed on 8 currently bidding projects as a construction manager. They've been on 183 in the last 24 months. If you click on company profile, it's going to give you a very long list of all of the contact personnel that we have on file for Barton Mallow. So again, this information comes from that search directory or the bidders directory that you access from right here in the quick links on your homepage. All right, now let's get into the part that everybody loves and has a million questions about, and that is the filters. And to somebody who asked me if this is being recorded, yes, it is being recorded, and I can put that up on our YouTube channel as soon as the system converts it to a video and make the link available. Okay, so setting search filters. This is how you narrow down the hundreds of projects that we have in our system to the projects that you care about, that you may have an opportunity to bid on. Again, pre-bid is available through a subscription to our virtual leads access. If you don't already subscribe to pre-bid, this will all be grayed out and you will not be able to select it. So my search criteria default to all of our actively bidding projects that are active and on order. On order means we haven't yet filled in all the blanks on the project, but we have information, there's a project, and we are working on getting all the details. I would encourage you to leave on order checked because it may not have everything on it, the documents may not be posted yet, but at least it'll give you that first look at what we've got bidding in our plan room. So I would leave active and on order. Project types. I always caution people about dropping any project types or any construction categories. I always recommend you use all unless your company is super uber specific about the kinds of projects they will bid on. I would leave them checked all. And here's why. Maybe you guys will say, well, we only do school work. School work is all we ever do. And so you click education. But we have a project that comes up that is renovating the library at a school. Sometimes my team will select the library, and then that's going to exclude for you. It's not going to show up in your search results if you've only picked education. So again, leave these all. Step 1, 2, 3, and 4. Step 5, this is where you select your region or your county. If you want to know everything that we're covering, don't even worry about step 5. If your sales territory is only specific counties, you click on individual counties, you come to the map, you pick the counties that are part of your sales territory and save selections. Public or privately funded, if you are only looking for private jobs, then you would click private. Publicly funded jobs, then public, otherwise leave them both. We do request estimated costs on the projects we post, but we don't always get that information. And if you put amounts in here, then that's going to exclude results for you where we don't have estimated costs. So again, step 7, I would leave it blank for now unless you feel like you're getting results you don't like, and then you can come back in and more narrowly refine this search. But just to get started, I would leave that wide open. Okay, down here is where you get into your keywords and the kinds of projects that are going to be specific to you. You can, basically what the system does is when you click search for projects, it runs through a process where it scans every single word on every single page of every document we have posted in the system. All of the spec pages, the print pages, as well as the summary or scope of work that my staff types in. So it's going to look for all the words in all those places. So you can put in whatever keywords you like. If you are a landscape company, I would suggest doing landscape with no E on the end. And then that will pull results like landscaping, landscaper, landscape, etc. Put in a variety of different words. You can also search by CSI code. So if you know the specification code for your section that you always bid on, you can put those numbers in here as well. Name your filter, and I would save it just to make sure that if you need to do it again, it'll be where you can run it again whenever you want. And then you have two choices. You can search without word count or search with word count. The only reason you would do without word count is if you hit with word count and it takes forever for it to display your search results. then you may want to do without word count, and that will just speed up the results. So we're going to do with word count. Let's see how long it takes for the system to comb through all of the projects in there and show me what my results are. So this shows me that my filters turned out 225 projects that had one of those 3 keywords in it. If I hit the little green plus symbol, it's going to tell me that this spec section has the word mechanical 1 time. Cast in place concrete has the word mechanical 2 times. Now again, if you did it without word count, you're not going to see this 2 hits, 1 hit in here. It'll just show you the word. This is helpful because I can tell by looking at this that there's not actually mechanical work. If you're a mechanical contractor, this isn't a project that will ever apply. I can tell that by the spec section. And so maybe I want to hide this one. I don't ever want to see it again because it doesn't apply to what I do. Now this boiler job, on the other hand, we've got some addenda that reference mechanical, electrical's in here several times. If I think this is a good project for me and I want to know more, I would click on the project title, and this will take me to the detail page. And I'll come back to this in just a second. Some of the questions I get about setting filter results. You can only specify 4 keywords per filter, but you can have as many filters as you want. So you can have 80 different filters and put 4 different keywords in every one of those filters if you choose to. Again, you cannot share filters between logins. So each login will have its own unique filter result. And as soon as you've created at least 1 filter, you'll start receiving our nightly email. And what the nightly email does is at about midnight, it starts a process of running a search result through our entire database and collecting all of the projects that meet your filter search criteria. And it shoots you out an email in the middle of the night so that when you get up in the morning, you can see what projects were entered the previous day that met your filter search criteria. So that will show you every day, but you won't get that nightly email unless you have a filter created. So if you're not getting the email and you have a filter created, let me know, because that probably means your spam filter is blocking it or there's an issue with the delivery, so I can dig a little more deeply into that. So let's just go back over the filter search again one more time, because it is the most important and probably the most complex part of the system. So again, if I want to see what filters I've already created, I can go to my filters list. This will show me the filters I've created. And then here I can click to create a new filter. If these filters have been returning junk, I can remove them, or I can edit them and change the keywords that I've selected on my filters. So I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to leave these all selected. I'm going to leave this both public and private, no estimated cost ranges. And in my keywords, maybe I'll do some brand names this time. Oh, one more thing, step 9. Many years ago, step 9, selecting a bid date range, was requested by our members. They said, hey, I really want to narrow my filter search results to show me everything that bids in the next 2 weeks. And so we put this option in here. But if you choose to put something in here for your filter search, it will not save that field. It'll work for right now when you run that filter, but it won't save it because there's no way to teach the system to roll those dates and keep showing everything for the next 2 weeks. So eventually, if I set it between now and May 15th, on May 16th, my filter would basically stop working. So this is a temporary field you can fill in to run it right this minute, but it will not save the information that you put in this step 9 for future. Okay, so I love this elementary project. Let's pick a better one though. Let's go back to, let's do this one here, boiler pretreatment system maintenance. So at the top of the page, you have several choices. maybe you click into this project detail and you decide after all, this maybe isn't something that you ever want to see again. You can click hide next time. If you like the project and you're planning to submit a bid, you can click add to bidders list, and you can put your company information in here, who your estimator is going to be, how to contact them. If you have information you want other bidders to see, you could put in here like receiving subcontractor bids until May 5th at 2 p.m. in this field right here, and it'll just show up on this one project. Or you can create a default solicitation like woman-owned business specializing in schoolwork. Whatever you want to say about your company, it can be any kind of tagline or anything like that. And add your company to the bidders list. You can send a project alert. So if you have another member on your team that maybe you want them to look at it, you can put their email address in here. You can say, hey, take a look at this project and send by email. Or if you have a supplier that you want to submit a bid to you on it, you can send this to your supplier. And if they have a subscription to the CAM Planroom, then they know exactly what project it is you want them to look at and get into. You can track this project. So you can track it with email, which means when we change this phase down here, either we post apparent lows or we have contract award information, you'll get an email. If we add addenda, you'll get an email. If we change the bid date or time, you'll get an email. So you can track it with email. You can track it without email, which will put it on your tracked projects list, but it won't give you an email when we make changes to the system. Up here we have the scope. This is hand typed in by my data entry team. So they look at the specifications, they find the summary of work, they type in a brief summary of work here. If there's a pre-bid meeting, it'll show up in the middle of the page here and also down here in the project information. If it is a mandatory pre-bid meeting, it'll say that. It'll say mandatory meeting here. In the red notes, this is where we put information that we think is important to anybody who's interested in bidding. So when we get addendum on the project, we put the date we received it, the number, and what it contains. If it's a bid date extension, we try to bold that so that you see that right away when you land on the page. Right here, we have the name of the CAM employee who's reporting on the project. So if you have questions about what we have, or maybe you know there's another addendum out there that we haven't yet posted, you can reach out to Josh on this project and let him know. You can email editor directly and say, hey, I'm looking at this job and I have a question, and somebody will follow up with you. This shows you that we first started tracking this project on April 3rd, and the last time my reporter looked at it and updated it was yesterday. So we're typically checking these projects once or twice a week. As the bid date gets a little bit closer, we start checking it more frequently just to make sure that there's no revisions or changes to the project. So you'll know when the last time it was that we did anything to it based on this date right here. This is the blue notes that I referenced in the beginning under that project quick search option. Blue notes are only visible to people within your company on your account. So you can put whatever you want in your blue notes and I won't see them, other bidders won't see them. Only people that are logged in through your account access will have access to your blue notes. And some people use those to designate which of their estimators, for example, is bidding this project. So they might put in here, Mike Smith is bidding this project. And then that tells anybody else on your team, if they happen to find this project, that your company is already on top of it and it's already been assigned to an estimator. If Mike logs in one day and says, I wonder what I have on my agenda, he can search by blue note, and it's going to pull up that project that we were just on that matches that blue note search. So that's mostly what we use that for, is to some inter-office communication about who's looked at it, who's touched it, who's assigned it, or maybe you've looked at it and talked already to the project team and decided it wasn't a good fit. You could put that in there just to notify everybody else in your company. Down here we have a project team. It is always our goal to have the owner and the architect and engineer. but at a minimum, we will always have at least one company here on the project team. Bidders list will give you the names of companies that have either showed up on a pre-bid sign-in sheet that we have a copy of, we'll add them, or if people have added themselves to the bidders list, they'll be here as well. There's that H for history again, so if you want to know more about this company, you can click on that H for history and see what else they've done or what other bidders lists they've been on in our system. If they subscribe to the CAM Virtual Plan Room, they get this nice little CAM logo right here next to their company contact information. From here, you can email everybody on the bidders list. You can select one at a time to email. But this is the contact information that we have on file for the companies that are intending to submit a bid on this project. The next tab is Documents. So here you can see on the addenda, we've received 4 addendums on this project. You can click on any one of these and see the PDF copy of that. We have 3 spec files attached, and if we had blueprints on the project, that would show up here under Blueprints. If we're missing something, you can put a little note in here, hey, you guys are missing number 5, and click Submit, and that will go to my editor. Again, this is the key information on the project. So the project ID is the number that it is assigned in our system. If the owner has a specific ID, that'll be here under Owner ID. 4 addenda, no memos. Then what kind of project it is, how it's categorized, and if you need to get copies of the plans, if we don't already have them, this is where you would need to go to get those plans. Another great feature up here at the top is the visitors link. So you can click on visitors, and it'll show you that even though these companies did not put themselves on the bidders list, they've looked at it several times. So you can see Global Green Service Group has looked at this project 7 times. Arl Bettman 4 times. So sometimes companies, for whatever reasons, they choose not to put themselves on a bidders list, but it's always important to check this visitors log because there may be other companies planning to bid based on how many times they've looked at the project. You can get a sense of whether they're interested in it or not. You can do a printer-friendly version of this. You can export this into Excel so that you can download it and save this contact information. So that is the project detail page. So again, you can edit your company information up here at the top. You can search new projects, quick search, search by bid date or pre-bid meeting date, search by all projects. Here you can set your search filters. You can look at your filters you already have existing. If you've tracked any projects, they'll be here. If you've hidden anything, it's here. If you have specific information on a company like a phone number or an email or a company name, you can find it here. And if you're just looking for painting contractors in the Upper Peninsula, you can use the search directory function. And then pre-bid meetings is the last thing I'll show you. And this shows you all of the upcoming pre-bid meetings between this date range. If it's in red, that means it is a mandatory pre-bid meeting. If it's not in red, then that means it's not mandatory. All right, I am going to take everybody off of mute. If you are listening from your computer or from your cell phone, you can use individual lines so that everybody can't hear you, but I'm going to unmute everybody in the system. And so if anybody has a question that they'd like to ask, now is the time. All right, you guys, I don't hear anybody asking any questions. I want you to know I am available to walk anybody through this on a one-on-one basis. If you need specific help setting up a filter that is for the kind of work that you do, your company has a unique kind of niche, then I'll be happy to help you try to figure out how to narrow down those filter results. If you've got a team of estimators and you'd like to do one of these calls as a private call for just your people, I'm happy to do that as well. My contact information, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat box. And you can email me anytime, and I'll be happy to set one of these calls up for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're looking forward to the governor's announcement this afternoon that she's going to lift restrictions on residential and commercial construction effective May 7th. And as soon as we get the details on what that executive order entails, we'll be shooting that out to our mailing list too. So if you have any questions, email me directly or check our website for updates. Have a great day.